at the NAMM Music Convention in the US, which was a huge honor because he has something like 60,000 followers on your Instagram account. And I think it was pretty impressive globally. And this is why I was invited to present at that meeting, was to share some tips and secrets on how he manages to drive traffic to his online store, which are some of the messages he's going to share with you today. So without further ado, I'll just hand over to Glenn, who will give you the presentation. And I think during and after the presentation, Glenn will take questions and answers. So if you want to just pose your questions through the chat, we can deal with those at the end of the presentation. Okay? All right, over to you, Glenn.
Thanks, Megan. Can everyone hear me okay?
Yes.
We're all good. Excellent. So yeah, thanks for that introduction, Megan. My name's Glenn Hayworth. Today, I'm going to talk about going from brick and mortar to online. First of all, welcome everyone to the webinar. It's great to see everyone's faces here. I see some familiar faces in the chat as well. So great to see everyone. So from brick and mortar to online, as Megan said, I'll tell you a little bit about myself just really quick before we rip in. Megan sort of already told you the Hayworth Guitar story is where it all started for myself. We started with a small retail music shop in Kiama Downs. This was back in the late 90s. We opened that store, and then from there we've grown to a couple of different locations now. We've got a few music schools, and online is really where we have about 50% of all of our revenue now comes from online. Megan said that I spoke at the NAMM show in January over in America, in Anaheim, California, where I talked about our Instagram and how we're using our Instagram for our online conversions. And I was supposed to go there in July too to talk as well at the Nashville presentation, but that's looking like it's cancelled due to the COVID-19. But next week we'll actually be doing a webinar on Instagram, and yeah, we're about 60,000 followers now on our Hayworth Guitars Instagram. So next week I'll be talking about how to grow your Instagram as well. So tune into that one. It's going to be at the same time, so Wednesday at 12 o'clock. But now these days, Hayworth Guitars, like I said, so about half of our revenue comes from online. So today I'm going to be talking about how we went from the brick and mortar to online, and I'm going to talk about the key things that a website really needs to have. And I'm going to be going through, basically the keys to going online. And this might be a good time for you to think about revamping your website. If you've already got a website, this can be, maybe helpful if you're looking to revamp your current website, or if you're looking to build a website from scratch. I'm going to be talking about the key things that a website needs to have. And this is really the step that you kind of need to go to before you go to a web developer and say, I want a website, or I'm looking to revamp my website. Because the first thing a web developer is going to say is, okay, so tell me what you want, right? But a lot of the time web developers, although they're obviously great at their job, they're great at building websites, a lot of the time they don't have the marketing hat on, or they haven't, run businesses before or e-commerce stores before. So they might not be able to tell you exactly what you're going to want. So this is going to be like the step that you kind of go through before you go to a web developer and say, all right, I'm ready for a website now. I need to revamp my website. So this is going to give you my perspective as a business owner. Now, I'm not a web developer. I don't know how to write code. I don't call myself, a web developer or even an expert in the website space, but I do know how to run a great business online. And that's what I'll be talking about today, just my own experience. So hayworthguitars.com.au is our site. And I put there that, look, speed beats perfection. Our website isn't perfect, but it does bring in, like I said, about half of all of our sales come directly from online. And really it's our saving grace at the moment in these times. So it's not perfect though. If you go on the website, you might see things that aren't perfect. But we launched this new site about 12 months ago, and we're still improving it all the time. So like I said, this is my perspective as a business owner as to what a website needs. So why would you look at building a website, or why would you look at revamping your current website? Well, because a website can be a great marketing asset. And by a marketing asset, I mean it can be a great way of building traffic and converting that traffic into customers. Or if you're in a business that's not looking to sell products online, but rather maybe you're a service business, it can be a great way to gather email addresses and to build your database. And also first impressions matter. I mean, most businesses, most people find out about your business from your website a lot of the time. So, and I also put at the bottom there that people can't buy an empty space. It's an old retail saying, but I mean, if people are looking for your service and you're not online, well, then there's an empty space there and you're missing out on that business. So that's why the website's important. So two key things I'm going to talk about today are traffic and conversion. So traffic is basically when we talk about building leads on your website. So sending traffic to your website and getting visitors to your website. And I'm going to talk about the keys there on how we get traffic at Hayworth Guitars on our website. And the second part of the webinar I'm going to talk about is conversion. So how do we take that traffic? How do we take those leads and those potential customers and convert them either into customers or into a database? So they're the two key things I'm going to talk about today. But I'm going to start with conversion first, because it's important to get your website set up so that it's primed for conversion, because if it's not, then it's useless sending traffic there, because well, the only thing that's going to happen if you send traffic to a website that isn't professionally set up, that doesn't look good, is people are going to leave straight away, and we don't want that. So I'm going to talk about, first of all, why conversion. We want to aim for a high conversion rate, and we want to aim for low bounce rates. And low bounce rate, by a bounce rate, I mean when someone jumps on your website, if it's not what they're looking for, if they don't find what they're looking for straight away, or if it doesn't look professional, if it's not optimized, then they'll jump off straight away. And that's what we call a bounce rate. So we want to minimize those bounce rates, and we want to make sure we get a high conversion rate. So, and I also put that leads don't pay your bills, but customers do, right? So traffic is useless unless we convert that traffic into customers. So there's really two types of conversion. So on your website, right, we want to have it set up so that they can either opt in, like join a mailing list by entering their email address or entering their details, or signing up for something, or just even leaving an inquiry so that you can get back to them. Or another type of conversion is we want to encourage them to either make a purchase. Now, it's important to think about your business and what do you want your potential leads to do on your website? How are you going to gather their information, or how are you going to get them to make a purchase? And realize what type are you. Like in my business, we're mostly a retail business, right? Now we do have a music school, and we do want people to sign up and opt in as well. But majority of our website is targeted towards people to make a purchase, right? So we've got a lot of buy now buttons on our website, a lot of products on there. So think about what type of business you are and what type of conversion you need to have on your website, whether it be an opt-in form where you can gather customer details, or whether it be, if you're selling products or if you're selling courses, then a buy now option there. All right, so getting into it. So how do we go from turning leads into customers? Here's a couple of the keys that we need to have on our website. First of all, we need to have a clear message and offer on our website. So what's a clear message? Well, it just describes what you do. And there's so many websites out there that you'll jump on and you'll see it's confusing, sometimes I don't know if you've ever had this experience, you'll land on someone's website and you'll go through it, scroll down for a while, and you still kind of can't make sense about what they actually offer. So it's really important to have a clear message of what you do and how you can make your customers' lives better. Just really simple. And I'll put a couple of examples here on the screen. You'll see, here's Dollar Shave Club's message. If you go to their website, here's what they have. Here's the first thing you'll see. It's a little video they have playing there. And it just says, Dollar Shave Club has what you need to look, feel, and smell your best. And that's it, right? It's a very clear, simple message. But if you land on that site, you know exactly what they offer, right? Have a look at Amazon's site. I've put down at the bottom left of the screen here. You'll see a little clip that I've copy and pasted from Amazon's site. And if you land on their site, it just says, welcome to Amazon.com. We ship products around the world, right? Pretty simple. It's a very simple message, but obviously people have heard of Amazon and a lot of people know what they do already, but they have a very clear message on their website. So your message is really what you do, and your offer is really, coming up with a compelling reason for people to deal with you over maybe your competitors. So think about what can be your clear message. What's a message that you offer your customers, or an offer that you can give your customers, and having that positioned on your website is one of the first things that people see, so that they know exactly what you offer and what your message is. And I've got there that if you confuse, you lose, right? If people get on your website and they're confused about what you offer, if they can't find out what you offer in like the first couple of seconds of landing on your website, then they're going to leave and you're not going to be able to capture those customers. So we want to make sure we have a very clear message on our website, and then we can work on, what our offer is to our customers as well. I'll just do a quick example. This is just a screenshot I took from our website on the mobile phone. That's why it looks a little bit different. But basically, we've got an offer at the moment. Our offer is, due to everything that's happening at the moment, we want everyone to keep playing guitar, right? So we come up with this keep jamming promotion. And we're offering free shipping on anything, anytime, anywhere in Australia, right? And then our message really is, down the bottom there, it'll tell you like Hayworth Guitars. We're a family-owned, operated musical instrument retail business, and we specialize in guitars, drums, keyboards, amplifiers, accessories, and all things guitar related. So look, in a nutshell, if you land on our website on your mobile, you're going to see that. So you're going to get the message across. The message comes across really clear that, hey, we're a guitar and music store. And our offer is that at the moment, we're shipping anything, anywhere in Australia for free. And then I've got there too that a call to action button. And this is what I want to talk about next. So having a clear message, having a clear offer, really important for your website. It sounds very basic, but I mean, you've got to keep it simple so people understand what you offer straight away. So now call to action prompts. Now, these are really important too to have on your website because you need to provide an easy way forward for your customers. So how are they going to navigate? How are they going to opt in? How are they going to make a purchase, or how are they going to leave their details, right? Now, obviously for my business, we focus mostly on retail. So we have add to cart buttons, and you'll see there on the right side of the screen that that's a screenshot from my website from Hayworth Guitars. And you'll see that that's actually on a product itself. Guitar stand. It's got an add to cart button at the top, but as soon as you scroll down, you'll see an add to cart bottom that will follow the screen all the way down. So we want to give everyone, an opportunity to hit that add to cart button whenever we can. So we have multiple call to action buttons, and that's what they are essentially. A call to action button is a button that either says, buy now or add to cart or get started. And these buttons you want to have on your website in a clear space, but also in a loud color, a color that's going to stand out, and often a color that's not on your website, in any other color, so it's a different color that'll stand out. And I've put there too that don't ask, don't get, because you know what? If you don't have it there, then they're not going to have a way forward, and it's very easy to lose those customers. Also put there to have it above the fold. So when you're landing on someone's website, above the fold is basically what you see on your computer screen or on your mobile screen, straight away. You want to have some sort of call to action button on that screen straight away so that they don't have to scroll somewhere to try and find a call to action button. All right, so that's the call to action button. So here's an example of it on our Resolve coaching website, which we have at the top. As soon as you land on our site, you'll see you can either book a free discovery call or you can book in for a free Instagram health check. So there's two call to action buttons there, which are in bright colors on our Resolve coaching website. Okay, so the third thing, this is really important, trust signals on your website. So look, trust signals are a way to take away the risk for your customers so that they can feel at ease when they're dealing with you, and they can buy with confidence. So trust signals are things like, look, this is an example from our Hayworth Guitars website. If you go onto any of our products and you scroll down, you'll see these trust signals, and we call it the Hayworth guarantee basically. And really that's free shipping on guitars, 30-day credit returns, a 35-point inspection, full warranty, a year free servicing, and a price match guarantee. And we offer all those things because we want our customers to buy with confidence and to know that, that they can see that, oh, look, I know these guys are going to have a great price because I can see they have a price match guarantee. So I know they're already going to be competitive on price. I know that if I don't like this item, I can return it in 30 days for a full credit. I know that if anything happens, it's going to be covered under warranty, So this really takes away the risk for your customers. So think about your trust signals and what you can offer. I mean, you might already do something at the moment in your physical store, in your physical location, where you might offer a guarantee to your customers or warranty or whatever it is. But think about how you can add that to your website and use that as a trust signal on your website, which is going to get your customers to be able to buy with confidence and help them take away the risk. So trust signals is a massive one. Think about what you can offer as trust signals in your business. Here's an example of Amazon's. This is another, this is above the fold on Amazon's site. Obviously, look, if Amazon are the world's biggest retailer and they're doing trust signals above the fold and have a clear message above the fold, I mean, this is really why it's important. If these guys are doing it, then obviously it works. Their trust signals have here, look, shop in 8 languages, shop in 60 plus currencies, secure payments, I think is really important for, people buying online. They want to know that it's secure. They have estimated import fees. You can track your package and 24/7 customer service. So, I mean, if you're a customer and you land on Amazon site, you can see, look, I can trust these guys because I know if anything happens, I've got 24/7 customer service. I can track my package. So they're really key trust signals that Amazon have for their website. Okay, testimonials. I mean, this is a massive one. If you don't have any testimonials from your customers, then now is a great time to ask. Testimonials can be just a couple of short sentences written about why they love dealing with you, why they love your business. And just approach your best customers and ask them for this, because really, this is really an important part for your website, because your customers want to see, that social proof. It helps build confidence in your brand, and it helps to add trust as well. So, I mean, the other powerful thing you can do with testimonials is do a video testimonial. If you've got customers who are passionate about your brand, you can ask them to do a video testimonial for you and have that on your website. But that adds a lot of credibility to your brand. So think about testimonials, and maybe now you can start to reach out to some of your customers if you don't already have testimonials, and just ask them for a couple of sentences about why they love dealing with you. The other important thing for your website at the moment is to have it mobile friendly. So have it on your, responsive on a mobile device, because let's look at these stats. In 2013, 16.2% of all web traffic came from a mobile phone. But in 2019, 52.2% of all traffic came from a mobile phone. So more than half of all web traffic is from a mobile phone at the moment. So that's where the majority of your customers are probably going to find your website, is through their mobile phone. So, when you're talking to your web developer, and you're either revamping your site, or if you're looking to build a new website, you want to make sure that it's really optimized for mobile. It's also important to be optimized for mobile to help with search engine optimization, to make sure Google can find you when people try to search for you in Google. And it's especially important if you've got an Instagram business. If you're big on Instagram, well, then Instagram is basically all on your phone. So people are going to find you from their Instagram account on their phone. So they're going to be jumping on your website from their mobile, which is another great reason why your website needs to be mobile friendly. Multiple payment options. Look, this one is massive. I asked my guys, I've got a guy, Jordan, who runs my website for me in the shop there at Shore Harbour. And I said to him yesterday when I was refining these slides, I said, hey, what's our stats on people buying through finance? I'm talking about Afterpay, Zip Pay, we do a Studio 19 rental. So anything other than basically cash or credit card or PayPal, what's our stats? And he said, look, at the moment, about 50% of all our purchases on our website are done via these finance options, right? So we could be missing out on half of all of our sales if we didn't offer your Afterpay, Zip Pay, Studio 19 rentals, or a payment plan. So it's huge. I mean, so I think people online, they really do need these different finance options. So especially, for the retail business, and it just makes it easier for them to buy now. And I think it really needs to be almost assumed for customers to land on your website that there needs to be some sort of, finance option or a payment plan or something like that to make it easier for them. So offering multiple finance options is a big one. So think about in your business, what kind of finance options, payment options you can offer in your business, and what does your website need to include. And the last part of this converting leads into customers section is really engaging valuable content on your website. So your website, look, has anyone ever been in a casino where, it might be late at night and you're walking around and you lose your friends and you don't know what time it is because they don't have clocks on the wall. They don't have any clear, windows or anything to see whether it's still daylight or not. Man, I've been lost in casinos before, and the reason is, you probably know, is they want to keep you in there as long as possible, right? And why do they want to do that? Well, because the longer you stay in that casino, the more chance you have of spending your money. And look, websites are exactly the same. We want to get people to spend time on your website, and the longer they stay on your website, the more chance they have of opting into your email newsletter or to committing to a purchase or contacting you. So we want to engage with our audience on our website and keep them there for a long period of time. So look, the key to providing, engaging content on your website is obviously to have professional, images on there, some good looking images. Video, look, I've got an example there. That's myself and Ryan, one of my staff members from our website. If you go to our homepage on our website, you'll see videos that we make. And look, it's really to just engage with our audiences, to provide some valuable content for them. It's not being super salesy, but it's really just saying, hey, look, here's our don't miss list for these Gretsch guitars. We think, these are awesome guitars and here's why. And we don't say, look, buy now, hurry, get in. It's just a matter of just providing that content. And the reason we do that as well is it helps to establish us as the experts in our industry. If you've got content on your website, like it might be a blog, you might write articles and create a blog on your website. You might want to do a podcast. You might make video content. But another great reason is it makes you an expert in your industry. So people will see you then as like, well, look, these guys know their stuff. They know what they're talking about. They've got a blog, or they've got video, they do a podcast. So it helps to establish you as an expert, and people want to deal with experts. So the more you can have that engaging content on your website to keep people there, keep them entertained, and to help establish you as an expert, the better. And I just put there, the longer they stay, the more they'll pay, right? So we want to keep them on the website by having that engaging content. So think about what kind of engaging content can you have on your website. I mean, if you don't like making videos and you hate doing that, well then look, start a blog, start writing some articles that you can have on your website, or maybe you want to do a podcast. But hey, if you don't mind making videos, then it's pretty easy these days just to grab your iPhone out and to make a video. So think about what sort of engaging content you can have on your website. All right, so now I want to talk about, so we've been through really the keys to converting leads into customers, right? That conversion. Now I want to talk about how do we actually get traffic to your website? How are we going to build traffic and send people to your website, send visitors to your website? And here's what we're doing at Hayworth. Here's some of the keys to building traffic. Number one is, look, Google is going to be a major resource for getting traffic for a lot of you guys. It's massive for us. So search engine optimization is really the first one I want to talk about. Now look, this is an organic way to get traffic. This isn't going to cost you anything other than your time committed to the website to refine your website to make sure it's optimized for Google, right? Because Google is just ranking websites in terms of relevance and in terms of the content that you have. So in order to rank well with Google, really your website needs to have relevant content with keywords. Now, what are keywords? Well, keywords are basically the words that people are searching for to try and find your business. So for us in Hayworth Guitars, people might be searching for buy a guitar online, or Fender Stratocaster, or Gibson Les Paul. These are the things people are putting in Google to try and find us, or to try and find an online guitar store. So these are the kind of keywords that we need to have on our website so that Google can find them, right? So this is where having that relevant content with keywords on your website is really important. I mean, if you're a gym, I know I've got some guys in the group today who have a gym. Having content on your website that might relate to different exercises, or people who are searching for a gym in the Wollongong area or the Shahaba area or Kiama area. Having that content on your website in written content, but also maybe you're doing some videos and that sort of thing. Well, that is going to help your Google rankings. Another great way to help your Google rankings is backlinks. So links from other websites. So if you have suppliers that you deal with, if you have any other partners in your business that you deal with, or any brands that you deal with, then asking them to have your website listed on their site is going to actually help your rankings, because they're all backlinks that can go through to your website. And the more backlinks you have going to your website, the better. So reach out to your suppliers, reach out to your business partners, reach out to the other brands, and ask them to make sure your website is listed on their site, and they have a link on their website, which will go through to your website. Mobile first, I already talked about. That's really important for your Google rankings, because Google just basically will not rank websites if they're not optimized for mobile anymore. This is just too important. Too many people are searching on their mobile phones, so it's very important to have your site optimized for mobile. Site speed is another important one. So when you're uploading your images, making sure they're the right size. And look, most web developers will be able to tell you this, that we need to optimize your images and not have them too big and bulky, because if your site takes too long to load, then Google actually penalizes you for that. Look, there's some other technical factors there. Look, I don't claim to be a Google expert. I actually have a guy on my team who works for me a couple of days a week and works on optimizing our site for Google. all the time. And so I actually have him on my team who does that. But look, it's an important thing for your website to have that. So think about, what are your keywords in your business? What are people searching for? I mean, you can actually find keyword search tools on Google to help you find out what words people are searching for your business. But thinking about your keywords, what does your site need to include in terms of keywords? And now the other way to get traffic is actually doing some marketing on Google. Now this is where you can look at paid Google ads. For our business, and this is what I talked about again, I have an expert who comes on board who works on our website and who helps with our marketing with Google. And he runs some paid Google ads. And he also runs some paid Google shopping ads too, and also some Google retargeting. I'll just show you real quick what I'm talking about. Look, if you go to Google and you search for something, look, I just searched for furniture online here. I just punched in furniture online. Here's what comes up. Up the top here, we have some Google ads. So these businesses have paid money to have their ads at the top here. And here is Freedom Furniture has come up here, and they're just an organic ranking. So they haven't paid, but that's just their SEO helping them to get to the top of Google there. So they have a website that's really optimized for SEO. And furniture online, those keywords are obviously, on their site a lot. So, but if we look at up the top here, we have Google ads. So you can actually pay to have your ads up here, and people can click through. You'll pay per click for people to get to your website. But the key for us at the moment in the retail space especially is this Google shopping part over here on the right. And this is really where, we have a lot of traffic coming from at the moment, where we have our guitars listed on Google Shopping, and it's also called Google Merchant Center. But basically, if you search for, I've searched for furniture online here, and it will come up with some options where you can shop on Google basically, and you can click through to these. So this will go through to, their, to the website. So Google Shopping, Google Ads, they're a form of paid marketing, and it can be a good way to get traffic. It's not guaranteed. I don't, promote going out there and just going out and doing it, spend a lot of money. You can waste a lot of money on there if you don't know what you're doing. So it's always good to talk to an expert if you're looking to do any Google Ads or Google marketing. Have a look at this next one here. So social media. This is another great way to get traffic. And look, you don't have to do all the social media profiles. You don't have to do LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. You don't have to do all of them. You might just want to pick one or two, which you're really strong at, which you're good at, and just focus on them. I mean, Instagram for us, for myself personally, is really what I focus a lot of attention on, as well as Facebook. You'll see, as I talked about earlier in the webinar, our Instagram account is heading towards 60,000 followers. I've put a lot of time and effort into Instagram, and I'm going to talk about that on the next week's webinar on Wednesday, 12 o'clock next week. I'll tell you guys exactly how I grew our Instagram account. But basically, that's our bread and butter, and that's what we focus a lot of attention on. And Facebook for us is massive too. So what we do is we focus on posting on our social media once, twice, sometimes 3 times a day on Instagram, sometimes 2-3 times a day on Facebook. And we'll post our products, and then we'll provide links to our website. So it gets traffic to our website. Look, it's nice to have a great Instagram account. It's great. Having a lot of followers can make you feel good. But if you're not getting that traffic to your website, then it's kind of worthless, right? So our Instagram account is now optimized. You can click on any image basically on our Instagram, and you can follow that through to our website. So we've set up our Instagram so that you can find that product that you're looking for and go through to the website and actually make a purchase. And that's why it's so valuable. And look, probably at the moment, about 20% of all our traffic on our website comes from Instagram. So it's a very, very powerful tool at the moment. And Facebook is too, really. So think about where your customers are. I mean, if you're a B2B business, if you're a bookkeeper or an accountant or someone who deals directly with businesses, then LinkedIn is a great spot for you at the moment. It's a great way to reach out to other business owners on there and other professionals. So LinkedIn is a great one for you on social media. Some people like YouTube if you want to make longer video content. But Facebook and Instagram is really where we're spending a lot of time. And I think Facebook is kind of a big one for everyone, really. I think that everyone should be on Facebook. So think about where your customers are. Now, look, another way to get traffic is actually running ads, doing some marketing on Facebook. Now, Wade, who actually is from Atmosphere Productions in the office here, and he can come on board for some Q&A later in this webinar. He's very valuable to talk to. He helps me a lot with the Resolve business coaching too. And we coach clients together a lot of the time as well, because he has a wealth of experience in Facebook ads. So this is where, look, Facebook ads it can be really, really valuable for your business. You can also waste a lot of money. So it's not a guaranteed investment or anything, but it can be very valuable because it's so specific on how you can target people these days. It's just amazing. So look, let's talk about our music school at Hayworth Guitars, right? We did a video, Wade and I, where I just talked about the benefits of learning a musical instrument, right? So I just talked about, the great things, what great things you can benefit from learning a musical instrument. And we targeted mums and dads in the Illawarra area, right? Just for this video. We didn't ask people to buy anything. We just wanted to put a video out there which just said everything about the benefits to learning a musical instrument. Now, what Facebook ads can do is we can send that video out there, then we can find out who watched that video, right? So we can target parents and find out who watched that video. And anyone who watched that video, we can then pull into another audience because we know that they're interested, right? We know that they're interested because they've watched the video. So then we can remarket that audience with another offer, with an offer to sign up to the music school because we know that they're interested. So look, it becomes a really good way of working people through the funnel process, where you might put a video out there, put some content out there and see who's interested, but then you can kind of build them down the funnel process by actually, finding out who's interested and then presenting them with a compelling offer. So that's where Facebook ads can be really handy with your marketing. And I'll put that to your Facebook pixel. Look, setting up your website in a way where you can have like a bit of code installed, which is called your Facebook pixel, means that you can track any of your Facebook ads out there. You can actually track them and find out the conversion from your Facebook ads. So you can see your return on investment, see who's actually committing to a purchase from these Facebook ads that you're putting out there. So it becomes a really clever way of tracking your marketing and tracking what return on investment you're getting from your marketing by using Facebook ads. So look, you can find out a little bit more. We're going to be talking about Facebook and Facebook ads in 2 weeks' time. So in 2 weeks, not the next Wednesday is going to be Instagram. The Wednesday after is going to be Facebook and Facebook ads. It can be a really valuable tool for your business. Okay, so number 5, here's a great way to get traffic to your website: build your customer database. So gathering emails, gathering details in store, in your physical business and online, and building up a customer database can be a great way to get traffic to your website. This can be great to nurture it by doing some email marketing to your database, even text messaging. We use text messaging in our business. So we might, if we have a promotion coming up or something, we might be able to send a text message to our database, and so they get it on their phone. But we typically send, 2 or 3 emails out per week on what we're doing at Hayworth, and maybe some promotions, and just providing some valuable content, our videos that we're making and things like that. I put there that your customer database is really important because it's where you're the landlord and not the tenant. Look, you guys know I love Instagram. I've talked about it a lot already. I'll be doing a presentation on it. You guys know I love Facebook. But in your customer database, you're the landlord, right? Because you basically own those customer details. But on Instagram and on Facebook, all of your followers and all the people who like your page, they're really owned by Zuckerberg, right? Like he has the power there. So you're really a tenant on social media. You don't control any of those customer details, and the playing field can change just like that. It happened a while ago on Facebook, right? We had all of this a few years ago. We had a great organic reach on Facebook. You could put a post up and everyone would see it, and happy days. But all of a sudden, he changed the rules where you actually had to pay money to reach any of your followers. So that's where on social media, you're really a tenant. But if you have a great customer database, you're the landlord. You own that database, and you can use it as you see fit. So it's the same with your website. Your website is really where you're the landlord versus the tenant. So that's why your website is so important. So a customer database, and I put there that, look, your existing customers are the most likely ones to come and buy from you again, because they already know, they already trust you, they already deal with you. So they're the ones who are going to come back and buy from you again. So a customer database is so important. And so, just from sending out emails a few times a week, you can get a lot of traffic to your website from your customer database. Okay, so the next step. So where do we need to go from here? By the way, look, we're going to do a Q&A very, very shortly. So if you've got any questions, you should be able to put them in the chat section there. So you should be able to just click on the chat button there and send through any questions that you have. So we can start to answer them when I'm done with this presentation very shortly. So if you've got any questions, send them through in the chat and I'd be happy to answer them. Ask me anything that you want. I've also got Wade here as well, who can answer any questions too, as he's part of the Resolve Business Coaching team. Okay, so the next steps. Next, you really want to write down what your musts are for your website. If you're looking to revamp your website, if you're looking to build a new website, what are your musts? What does your website need to include? After hearing the ways where you can build traffic, how to get traffic to your website, we talked about, your SEO on Google. We talked about, we talked about your search engine marketing on Google Ads. We talked about your social media, what social media accounts you need to have. We talked about potentially some Facebook ads as well and building a customer database. But also on your website, we talked about, having a clear message and having a clear offer. We talked about making sure that you have trust signals on your website, testimonials on your website, and clear call to action buttons, and also, payment options. So after hearing all this, write down, what does your website need to include? What does it need to have? And what does your site need for that conversion process? And how are you going to build traffic? So this is really the next step. And then assemble your team. So, if you've got a leadership team in your business, bring them together and get their ideas. Start brainstorming some ideas. Start looking at other websites that you like the look of. Research other sites, maybe some of your competitors or other sites in your industry, and look at the sites that you like the feel of, that you think, has a clear message and a good call to action and is just laid out well. So start to do your research and look at other websites and bring in your leadership team and just talk to them and get the brainstorm going. Ask them, what sites they like the look of and what they think your site needs to include. And then you can contact a web developer for quotes. We have, Megan's got some people in the Chamber of Commerce in Kiama who are, building websites at the moment. We have some people that we know who are building websites. So you can always send us a message and we can put you in touch with people too. And then I put there, gain help from a coach/marketer if you wanted to go through that step as well. And look, the biggest thing really out of all of this is really to just take action. And I just put there to just do one thing today. I mean, if you can just do one thing, it might be to call your team, it might be to send an email, it might be to talk to someone, but just to do one thing today where you can really start the ball rolling in this is going to help, because I don't want you to get to the end of this webinar and think, that was a nice webinar or that was okay, and then sort of leave it and not take any action, because really all this is going to be worthless unless you take action. So I would just encourage you to do one thing today from this webinar. Reach out to someone, send an email, talk to your team, and for any help, look, I want to encourage everyone in here to send me an email. My email is just Glenn with 2 N's. I know sometimes we see Glenn with 1 N, but mine has 2 N's at resolvecoaching.com.au. Just send me an email. I'm really happy to have a chat about anything I've talked about here. I'm happy to give you feedback on your website as well. Wade and I here in the office can give you feedback on your website or talk to you about, potentially what your website might need. But if you want any feedback, just send me an email. If you just want to say hi, send me an email. I really encourage you to do that. There's no harm in just sending an email. I'm not going to buy it. I'm not going to, try and sign you up to something. Just send me an email and just say good day if you want any help and feedback. And the reason I want to put this photo in here too, this is myself and the team here's Simone from Empire 23 in Kiama. And Wade and I have actually helping Simone, the site, we've helped get them from a brick and mortar store to online. And Wade has really done a lot of the grunt work here, but he's actually helped them build an e-commerce site on Shopify. So they're getting set up now, and we're going to launch that site in the next couple of days. So that's really exciting too. So reach out, send us an email, and have a chat, and we're happy to give you any feedback that we can on where you are now and maybe where you want to go. So really, that's it for the presentation, guys. I'm happy to answer any questions that you have right now. Ask me anything, and we can go from there. So have you got anything, Megan, that you want to have a chat about now, or are you happy to just go through some questions now? I want to unmute you. Clicking it. I'll go to main participants here. Let's have a look.
That's better. No, I think if we just go through the Q&A, there's a few questions coming up on the chat. Have you got those? Can you see those, Glenn?
I actually, let me see.
Yeah, I can see the
here we
questions.
go. Yep. All right, cool. So AJ saying, hey, if you can hear the kids in the background, let me know. No, AJ couldn't, mate. Thank you very much. AJ's got 5 kids. He's a busy guy. So 5 kids under 5, I think, if I remember correctly. He's got 2 sets of twins, so he's a busy guy. He's got a great gym at Coastal Fitness Movement in Kiama Downs, and I'm a regular of his gym. So how you going, AJ? Hope you're well, man. Let's have a look at some questions here. So how to convert a service that is free, in brackets real estate, not a product. I've got an idea, but want to hear your thoughts. So that's Cooper vs. Q is asking. So how do you convert a service that is free, real estate, and not a product? So I'm just trying to understand the question there. Look, I think what you need to do, man, is just to gather these details on your website. Really, if you've got a service and you're not sure, if you don't have an option for someone to buy now on your website, then really you want to have an option for them to opt in to either your mailing address or a form there where you can encourage them to find out more. Now, look, having something above the fold on your website is really important too, because a lot of people only jump on your website for a few seconds, and if they can't see a way, your clear offer and your clear message and a way to contact you straight away, then a lot of the time they're going to jump off. So that's where I would have something at the top of your website, and you say you're doing real estate. So maybe if you're in real estate, then I mean, an enticing offer. If I was in real estate right now, I'd probably have something at the top of my website that said something like, find out about the latest market updates or the latest market conditions or something right at the top of your website, and just say enter email here. You know, something like that, where you can gather those details, gather their email address, and have that at the top of your website. Then that's a great way to gather those details, and you can stay in touch with them and keep them on your database.
Yeah,
So,
Glenn, I'll just jump in there as well. So that offer, that compelling offer, doesn't always have to be like a sales related or a giveaway. It can be like just a valuable piece of content that you create yourself. So it can be like an ebook or a PDF or a video series. But yeah, you don't have to think of it as an offer, something that someone's going to take you up on. It's basically you're just trading their attention for their contact details.
Yeah, exactly. And that's Wade, everyone who jumped in there. Look, Wade's exactly right. So it's basically a way of getting your customers' contact details or potential customers' contact details. And you can build up a database of potential customers and then just provide them with that value. And I mean, I get a lot of emails from real estates at the moment, especially Kiama real estates, where they're actually, will email market updates to you and let you know how the market's going and some offers that are coming up in my area. Then that's quite valuable. And I actually read a lot of those emails. So as Wade's saying, it doesn't have to be a buy now offer. It just can be an offer of just like, look, sign up to our newsletter and we'll provide you with all the market updates for your area. Something as simple as that. Susie Fagan got some hot tips here, Glenn. That's good. Thanks, Susie. Let's have a look here. Can you include a video on a blog? Prefer not to have both video and blog. I prefer a blog. Lynn's asking. Wade, you might be good to answer that one. Can you include a video on a blog? You can actually do a vlog, they're called, I believe, Wade. That's right, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. You can have a video on a blog. It's basically, again, back to sort of the casino analogy, is you just want to be keeping people on your website really as long as possible. And having a video is quite engaging content, especially if it's a good video. And that will keep people up, which will in turn increase the average duration, which is a ranking factor for Google. So the longer that someone's on your site, the better signals it's going to send to Google, which means it's going to serve it up as a better search result for people later on.
Exactly, yeah. Look, and if you're not comfortable, Lynn, in making videos right now, then just do a blog. Just start a blog. But as long as you start something on your website, great. And then you can actually take that blog and you might have some good content in there. And then you can do the same, do a video from an article that you've written. So I love doing videos. I mean, that's sort of what I love doing, but it's up to you what you sort of want to do there. If you're not confident with videos, then yeah, just do a blog. Someone says, I have an Instagram, but not a website. Is my next step a website? I'm not tech savvy. Where do I start? Look, if you've got Instagram and not a website, this is a good example actually. If you have Instagram or a social media account and not a website, then yeah, the next step is to get a website, because what are you going to do with this traffic on Instagram, right? What are you going to do with your following Instagram? This is a good example where Empire 23 came to us and said, look, we've got a good following on Instagram already. They already had a great following, but every time, they posted a product, the only thing they could do was say, call the store to find out more, right? Or call the store to purchase. But if you get your website set up well, and if you've got a good following on Instagram, then how we use it at Hayworth Guitars is I'll post a product, but I'll actually tag that product. So I'll just say, I can put a great call to action in my Instagram, messaging there, and I'll say, tap the image for more to shop online. And you can just tap the image, and then you can go straight through to our website and buy the product, right? It's simple. It just takes the middleman out of it almost. So, for them, they're a retail clothing shop. I mean, that's so valuable to be able to just be posting on Instagram to your followers and be able to send them straight to your website. So yeah, I would say your next step, if you have an Instagram and if you're building your following on there, you need somewhere you can send people, because as I said, on Instagram, we're just a tenant, right? We want to be the landlord. We want to own, have a website where we're the landlord. We're sending people there all the time, so we can either get them to opt in and gather their details and gather their email addresses, or get them to make a purchase. And honestly, this is how the big influencers are doing it on Instagram. If you follow any of these big influencers, they're always getting you to swipe up. They're always getting you to go through to their website so they can gather your email address. They can get you to opt in and sign up, or you can make a purchase. So yeah, I think the next step, if you've got a good following on your social media, on Instagram, for example, get your website set up so you can start getting traffic there.
Just on that as well, Glenn, yeah, absolutely. You should be diversifying your digital assets too, because there are stories, and I know people who've had their Instagram accounts hacked, and basically all the work and every effort they put into it was gone up in smoke within, a couple of minutes, because they couldn't get the account back. So it's a good idea to even like diversifying, having a Facebook as well as an Instagram. But yeah, ultimately is having a website, because like you said, you can control that world. And if you set it up so you can capture details, and where you can start is, as simple as like an even do-it-yourself Wix website. That's a place to start. But yeah, like what Glenn said, if you can go through with a bit of a plan to a web developer, that's going to be probably your best course of action.
Yep, exactly. We've got a question here from Megan regarding your customer database. What database do you use to collect these, and how does this link to, say, phone or email? So customer database, look, really, if you want to get into it, you can set it up on a CRM, a customer relationship management system, where basically you can gather these details on something like that. Entreport's a very popular one at the moment, where you can have set up, and basically that's a way that it interacts with your website. So you can add all these customer details on this CRM, basically, and it's a software way of storing all these customer details, and then you can market to them from that. We use one at the moment called Klaviyo, because it works well with Shopify, where we have all of our email addresses going to Klaviyo, and we build them up there, and that's where we send out emails from. So that'll help you, design your emails. But there's other ones out there. Wade knows more about this stuff than me, but there's other ones out there like MailChimp, which is a quite a popular one, which is pretty easy to set up, where you can start building your database on MailChimp, and you can design all your emails in there and everything and make them look good and enticing, and send them out to your customers from there.
Yeah, there's a question there. Is it Klaviyo? It is Klaviyo, but I think it's spelled really funny. It's spelled with a K or something.
Yeah,
isn't it,
it's like a KLAVY.
Cam's answered it there. Yeah,
Cam's got it. Yeah.
Hard to find if you don't know what it is. And then just quickly, another one which a lot of people probably have heard of before is MailChimp too. So look, there's lots of different ones out there, and a lot of them do pretty much the same function. What I'd recommend as well is, before you sort of get into a more advanced, setting up email sequences and things like that, is you just want anything that's going to capture details, and you can even go with a free or cheap option with one of these ones. The most important thing is you're just capturing details, because you can always jump across to different software later on when you're a bit more advanced. But yeah, the most important thing is just having a nice, clear, easy path for people to put their contact details in and for you to capture them.
Yeah. Wade, and Wade, everyone, by the way, is like, he has put in a lot of groundwork with the Empire 23 website, which will be launching soon, but also he built the Resolve coaching website for me as well. And so I've got a question there too from Anthony, who's a sole trader, and he asked, what's the best way to develop a website so you can concentrate on developing your business, as in if you don't have a team that can do it for you. So I think, you know, what's the best way to do a website as a sole trader? And I'm guessing he's just maybe, I think you might be asking if it's like a DIY website. Maybe you can elaborate on that, Anthony, in the chats a bit more. But
look, I'll just say as well, it's as long as you sort of start somewhere, it's better than doing nothing. Like as simple as trying it yourself on Wix. It's pretty intuitive there, but your best results are always going to come from somebody who knows what they're doing, with a web developer. But yeah, doing nothing is the worst thing you can do. So if you at least start with a Wix website, and get like a pretty nice and sort of basic landing page happening. Another good way to go about it is a lot of these website providers have really good templates set up, and it doesn't mean you have to do a lot of the grunt work. You pretty much just have to replace the content. Now, those templates aren't set up by mistake. It's usually been sort of distilled down from what's a very good website and like what has the good sort of trust factors and conversion points in there for everybody to follow. So if you basically paint by numbers and just replace the bits that are there and put your own images in, it's going to be a way better start than doing nothing.
Exactly. And Anthony's saying basically, he said, oh, Glenn, you said you have Jordan doing that for you. He said, well, what if you don't have a Jordan to do that for you, basically? What if you have to do it yourself and build the content? And Sarah's actually written there, Sarah Atkins, says she does all the website herself. Depends on what you're selling, but she uses Shopify, and there's lots of help in the forums. And look, that's why Wade and I wanted to set up Empire 23 with Shopify, because Shopify is one of these sites where you can do a lot of it yourself. The reason obviously I've got a team doing it is because, I'm in my business, I'm very big picture, and I have a couple of stores to manage, and the website and music schools, and then the Resolve coaching as well. So I can't physically be on the website all the time doing the work. That's why I've got Jordan there, and a team behind us. But if you're doing it yourself, as Wade was saying, it's picking a site which is going to be really easy for you to use. Shopify is a good one if you are selling actual products, but as Wade said, Wix can be an easy website to set up. So
Squarespace is another one.
Squarespace, yeah.
And just quickly on help too, there are lots of services on there on the internet where you can hire web developers to help you with pretty much every platform. So websites like Fiverr, with an extra R.com. That's a good marketplace for freelancers all around the world that can help you. Another one is freelancer.com, Upwork. Now, what I will warn everyone with is that there are a lot of people who are seemingly cheap on there, but usually a lot of these freelancers are based in other countries, and the language barrier can be quite a hurdle to overcome. And so what you think you're asking for and what you get back can be two different things, and you'll end up spending more time, effort, and money getting it how you wanted. Look, there's some great services, and I've found some really, really good freelancers over the time that have been a good help and very cost effective, but I've also spent a lot of time mopping up the errors and problems that they cause too.
What I would say too is, look, get in touch with us. Send us an email. You've got my email there, glenn@resolvecoaching.com.au. Send us an email, Anthony, and we've got people that we know too in the local area who are doing websites cheap, at the moment too. Megan knows some as well. So there's people around here who are offering their services. They know businesses need to get online now. They know businesses are struggling. So a lot of these people are your sole operators. I mean, one of our clients that we're coaching, Cam, I think he's in the chat. He's a sole operator, and he's one of these guys. And there's people in the Kiama municipality too who are in part of the Chamber of Commerce who are offering their services cheap at the moment. So there's people out there who can sort of build these websites quick for you. I mean, if you're a sole trader and you just need to get something up, if it's just a basic landing page, then these guys can do that for you. And then you need to focus on what you do best. I mean, if you're you're a sole trader, if you're a tradie, for example, then you need to be out there doing your thing and doing what you do best, and then having someone help you with the website. Christian Lovett says, thanks Glenn and Waity this Arvo for coaching. Christian's one of our clients. He's doing a great job. If you follow him, he's got Bean Roasted cafes. He's got the cafe in Shore Harbour, but also in Calderwood too. And he's doing some great stuff with his Instagram account at the moment. He's posting a couple of times a day on keeping everyone informed on what he's doing, which is really good. He's doing home deliveries for actual getting bean roasted beans. And Emily saying, I do all my website through Wix and Square for payments. And Anthony
yeah,
says,
the payment provider, that's good.
Yeah.
And a lot of these things as well, if you do need to take payments online, there's a lot of good providers now, like Stripe and Square and PayPal, that it is pretty much just, follow the steps and you'll be able to accept payment online too.
Yeah, exactly. So there you go. Look, and I think the big thing too, guys, is as I said towards the end there, is just take action. Take some sort of action now. It can be a bit daunting, all of this, but if you just start to have the conversation and start to do your research now and just start to brainstorm some ideas on what your website really needs, then you're going to have more of a clear idea when you do go to a web developer and say, I want a website. At least you can have a clear idea on what your website really needs to have. So I hope you got something from this webinar. I really hope you got a lot of value. But yeah, write down those ideas and just start to take action. Just do one thing today. And like I said, send us an email, get in touch. We're here in Kiama. We've got the office here just across from Surf Beach. And I'm here a couple of days a week actually in the office, but you can always contact us via email. So get in touch. And Megan, I might throw it back to you there.
All right, thanks very much, Glenn. That was an excellent presentation. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Lots of good tips and hints, lots of great takeouts there. I know for a fact the testimonials and the even not necessarily having to be a video, but just a testimonial for me is so important, because now when you shop online for anything, having that safety and that the surety that you're actually shopping with someone that's legitimate is just so important. You don't want to be giving your hard-earned dollars to shonky overseas traders. And I love the take-home messages. For me, it was make it easy. If it's easy for people to shop online, it's just you don't even think about it. It's so easy to do it when you're watching the telly. And also just do it. Do one thing today. I love those messages. And one thing I will say is that we will email you out the link to the recording for today, as well as all the resources that you've discussed, some of those links that you said and mentioned, and also any local web providers that we know are offering any special deals. We'll email you that information too. Yeah, so look, we hope you log on to next week's events on Wednesday. And the following Wednesday, next Wednesday is the Instagram one, and the following Wednesday's marketing for Facebook. So yeah, we hope you'll join us. And thanks again. It was an excellent session. Thanks. And hopefully we'll see you next week. Cheers. Bye.
See you, everyone. See you next week.